Thanks for joining us today. I have Dr. Neal Nealis, and he is a dentist in Chicago, Illinois. How are you, Dr. Nealis?
I'm great, Lexi. How are you?
Good, good. So can you tell us a little bit more about your practice and how you get started in dentistry?
Well, that goes back maybe to the second grade. I remember a teacher asking our class what we wanted to be when we grew up, and most of the boys wanted to be either firemen or a policeman, and the girls wanted to be teachers or nurses. I think they had probably better adulthood preparation when they were 7 years old. But I remember myself and my friend Bobby Yelton wanted to be a lawyer, and surprisingly, we wanted to be roommates in college, and he became an attorney. I went the indirect route. I first became an engineer. I built chemical plants for 2 years before returning to school and pursuing dentistry. I needed a break after 4 years of engineering school. It was pretty rigorous.
Wow. So what's your favorite part about dentistry?
Dentistry? I think interacting with people, and we're very careful that when a person calls our office, the time they visit our office, that the whole process is just very well organized and that they're comfortable. All the questions get asked. We give a very thorough exam. We try to be that's part of our mission statement, to be thorough. I think everyone who sees me a second time is a person that likes to understand what's happening with their mouth and teeth. They like to be part of the decision. They want a doctor that listens to their wants and needs. And I think we do that very well. But I don't think we just do that by accident. I think that communication skills are something that we have learned. We spend a lot of time reading about how we can communicate better. In fact, if I have a problem, it's that maybe I enjoy my patients too much, and I sometimes talk too much. Hear what's going on in my patients' lives and what's new with their families, friends.
What about your least favorite thing about dentistry?
Right now, I think everything that I do is just fantastic. I've got a great team. I think when I don't have a great team surrounding me, then it's just confusing and very, very stressful, because in dentistry we're tied to a rigid schedule. I feel that I don't like my patients to make myself wait, and I don't like to make them wait either. So we try to stay right on time, actually try to stay ahead of schedule. And when I have good people around me, that's easy to do. And for the last few years, we've had fantastic people, and I'm very blessed with the team that we've recruited.
So there's basically 4 things in business that entrepreneurs struggle with, and it's money, time, people, and passion. And so what would you say is the biggest struggle in dentistry, or at least for your practice?
Struggle with dentistry? I think probably struggle with most industries is that dentistry is constantly changing. And my friends who haven't embraced new technologies have been passed by I think the younger dentists. I think my having an engineering degree has helped me in that regard. Our office is full of the technological gadgets that make me either better or faster. There was a time I had a whole shelf full of gadgets that just didn't quite work the way the manufacturer had promised. And it gave me an understanding that salesmen aren't always fully honest with their presentations. So I've gotten rid of those. I cleaned that shelf out. I think if I have something and I don't use it for 5 years, it's taking up unnecessary space. So we clean that shelf. But the technology we have now is fantastic. Like we'll use lasers. We'll use digital scanners, CAD camming. I've got a little airline connected to my mouth mirror, so I don't have to pay someone to hold air on my mouth mirror. It's such a simple idea. Someone's made a fortune from that little silly idea. I've got a prop that will not only hold a person's mouth open, but it's clear, so it illuminates. It protects their cheek, it protects their tongue, and it suctions. It makes it gives me a big clear field so that I can treat what I need to treat faster and more comfortably. And we use that along with headphones, digital headphones connected to interesting music. So my chairs have massage pads. So it's kind of funny to go look at my Yelp reviews. You think people have just come from great America rather than having a dental procedure.
Wow.
think the reason people like coming here so much is that we understand that the process is just as important as the outcome. And that's something that we have worked on. We worked on the 5 senses. We've got comfortable temperature. We've got some essence that we put on the napkin to give a pleasant odor. We finish people's appointments with a hot towel and a mouth rinse, a disposable towel. My view, I've got the best view in all of Chicago. We look out over Chicago's landmark is a water tower, and that's the view out of my windows. And we see traffic up and down Michigan Avenue. It's almost like looking at a fireplace or waves rolling. It's very relaxing.
It sounds like you guys really focused on the patient experience and when we interview someone, which hasn't been for a while, but everyone in my office, we let them do most of the speaking, and we wait for them to make some reference as to they're looking for an office that cares about people. So we hire caring people because I think that is the core of the industry. When it comes to healthcare, that's half the word. And I think a lot of dentists haven't really made that connection. I think that if we're going to care for people's health, the best thing I can do is teach them how to prevent the problem in the first place. Because there isn't anything I can do for a person that is as good as what they've been provided with by nature. So if we preserve those tissues, avoid the cavities, avoid the gum disease, I think that's my best service. And then once we need to treat, then I encourage people to use the most durable material so that we visit that tooth once and then never again. It's quite intimate. That's
really been our recipe for success.
Wow. So what would you say is the hardest demographic to connect with? So I hear a lot about millennials, a lot about baby boomers. Is there a specific demographic that's difficult for you?
Yeah, I hear that question also a lot. Yeah, I enjoy people of all ages. I think I connect pretty well with people. I try not only stay active in my industry, but I try to stay active with my interests. I attend quite regularly various concerts. Last year I took my wife. She's a really good sport. I took her on a 100-mile rafting trip down the Colorado River at the height of the Rocky Mountain runoff. And she was terrified. Some of these rapids were higher than my ceiling.
So that's like 11,000 feet, something like that?
But the evening we spent on the beach, since we were in the desert in Utah, we didn't need our tents. So we had the whole night sky canopy overhead, which was very spectacular. With the Colorado River running by. It was a great experience. And I think millennials do those kind of things. People my age, the boomers, probably don't. But I'd like to stay active, and I try to exercise. I try to exercise every day. I think exercising is the key to longevity. If you stay in good shape, you can earn 100 years. And if you're lethargic and you don't exercise, then I think your body will implode and you don't quite get the full 100 years. But I've got a couple grandchildren coming this year. One was born on Easter Sunday. The other one's due in the middle of October. And I want to watch them grow up. And I want to watch them get married and have children of their own. I'm looking forward to that very much.
So what's your greatest passion in life?
My greatest passion in life? I've got so many. I'm kind of a passionate person. I think my family, I guess, has to be my greatest passion. I've got 2 daughters that are both in their 30s. I love spending time with them, and now with my grandchildren and my wife. We travel. We don't travel a lot, but we take interesting vacations. We do a variety. We'll do some trips where we do nothing but lay on a beach and soak in the rays and let someone who can barely speak English go fetch drinks. Or we do trips like the one we did down the Colorado River. We just got back from a trip in Rocky Mountain National Park. We also went to a theater and listened to a band that we follow on one of the nights. But I think my favorite trips are the ones that I've done with my daughters. I made a point of going somewhere with my girls when they were growing up. And my wife, on our very, very first trip, she was skeptical of bringing our daughters because she was with them 24/7. Or I only saw them in the evening for a short time before they went to bed, and then on weekends. So my girls were badgering my wife what they should wear to dinner. And I took them aside and said, listen, we're in Mexico. It doesn't matter what you wear. If you want to wear your bathing suits for dinner, that's just fine. No one cares. But if you want to come over with us ever again, you'll leave your mother alone. And from that point on, they were like in early grammar school. They left her alone, and they just made their own decisions. So she got a nice vacation, and I think it's set up for future years where we were able to share those times with our daughters, and we really bonded and had great experiences.
And now are your grandkids girls or boys?
Well, the one that was born April 1st is a boy, and the one that's still in the oven, which is due in the middle of October, is going to be a girl. So I have one of each, and the first cousins will have birthdays in the same year.
Oh, man.
So that's going to be quite exciting. And my nephew, who was in the office today, his wife stopped by. Her obstetrician is across the elevators from my office. She's expecting twins a week after my daughter's expecting her daughter.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to have a lot of little kids at Christmas.
Wow, that's so precious.
I've got teeth like everyone else, and last year I had 3 of my old silver fillings. Silver is a material that doesn't last forever, and replaced with gold. They don't show, but gold lasts for a lifetime. I'll never have to touch those teeth ever again. But it wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun process. You know, I had a young doctor come in and use my materials and my staff and my equipment, and he did a wonderful job, but the process was just slow. And I could do it 40 minutes. It took him 3 hours, and the batteries to my headphones ran out, so I lost my music, and it just left me in the chair with the process, and there's nothing exciting about it. It just wasn't fun. It wasn't painful, but I was just confined to this chair, and it's difficult to lay there immobile for a long period of time, even with the massage pads we have in our chairs. So
you music, have massage pads? That's
cool.
I've
got them hooked up to airbags. I had to pay extra to fill those holes in my floor in these high-rise buildings. But my patients get a massage, and they get headphones, and they get music, and they get sunglasses, and we do things fast and precise. And I've got a great assistant, Melanie, who just complements what I do. We're one brain with 4 hands, so we can do things quickly. And people, I think, they like having treatment done here because they're confident we did it well, and we did it so much faster, and everything just runs so fluidly.
Wow, I want to come into your office now. So what is a successful life for you then? Like what will equate
successful life? You know, I think everybody has their own personal philosophy, and what works for me isn't going to necessarily work for someone else. But I'm 67 years old, and I'm still going strong, and I'm really having a lot of fun. But my philosophy is I try to partition my life into 4 different areas. Myself, so I read constantly, and I think no matter what career a person's in, they need to read to not only stay in tune with their industry, but just to keep their minds active. Then I also exercise. And I think the mind and the body are inseparable. So that's one area. The other area is family and friends. My career just makes everything for my family and self affordable. And then I've got an area that I've called my religion, and I don't necessarily subscribe to an organized religion, but for me, what religion means is a set of values. My values I've written down. I've actually condensed them into a mission statement. I've got that posted on my wall in my reception room. So my values, my core values, probably my integrity. I grew up in a middle-class household, and I think what defines the middle class is that we wear our integrity on our sleeves. If you wanted to get into a fist fight on the playground, just accuse someone of lying or cheating, you'd better be ready to fight if you question someone's integrity, even when you're like 5 years old. And I just can't get rid of that. So I balance those 4 things. You know, all of my decisions are based upon my values or my religion, and I make time for my family, my friends, and myself, and in my career. And when I'm overextended into one area, I tend to feel stressed and unhappy, and it's a sign to me that I'm out of balance.
Where can viewers learn more about you?
Well, we've got my website, Nealis DDS. I'm on Facebook.